Hello, and welcome to Indzara's Project Planner Excel template. This template is for those who would like to plan a project or multiple projects. A project can be anything. It is just a collection of tasks. It can be used in your workplace, at home, at nonprofit organizations, or any place where you need to plan a collection of tasks. For example, if you would like to conduct an event, that could be a project. It has a set of tasks that have to be completed in order for the project to be completed. And this template can help you estimate when a project can complete or when a project is expected to complete at the earliest if you know the tasks that are included in the project, how many hours each task is expected to take, and also if you have multiple human resources who can be assigned to the project, then which human resource is assigned to which task. And once you have this information, this template can estimate when that project can be expected to complete. This template can also manage multiple projects, not just one. And when you have multiple projects, you would assign a priority to each of the projects. So the higher priority projects should be completed first. So the template will automatically take that into account and prepare a plan for you in which the higher priority projects will be attempted to complete first. So let's take a quick look at some of the key things or key outcomes that this template will provide. So this template will let you know or will determine if and when the projects will complete, whether the project will complete by due date if you have any due dates or deadlines for your project. It'll also tell you the resource utilization rates. So how well your existing resources are being used and do you have any unutilized time with the resources? And also opportunities for reassigning the resources so that you can improve the project completions. For example, in a certain situation, your projects may not complete because you have some of the resources assigned to the tasks, but some of them not being utilized fully. So this template will also suggest some opportunities for reassignment in order to improve the chances of completing all your projects. The template will also calculate the number of hours of work that are still pending so that you can request more resources if that is possible. And also the template comes with printable project and resource schedules and also a summary report which could be printed and which gives you a really quick view into the key summary level statistics for your project planning. This template is available for download from my blog here at indzara.blogspot.com. And this is a screenshot from the template. So this is the blog post that talks more about the details about the template and also some screenshots and how to use the template. There are lots of instructions in the template itself. So these are the links to download the documents. So the first one is the link to the actual template, which doesn't have any sample data or dummy data in it. Then there is the document version with some sample data. In this video, let's begin by looking at the sample data, which will help illustrate the features and the functions of the template. So when you open it, this is what the template will look like. And as you can see here, the home sheet where you begin, this has a lot of information about the template, what are the features of the template, how to use the template, and also a detailed list of definitions of the terms that are used in the template and also some calculations used. And there are two worksheets where you would enter information. So the projects and the tasks sheets are where you would actually enter information about your projects and tasks. And then you get to view and print the three outcomes of this template: the project schedule, resource schedule, and the summary report. So let's begin by looking at the projects sheet first. So you can use the top bar here to navigate, or which has all the links to navigate between the different sheets in this template. So let's go to the project sheet first. And this is where you begin your data entry. The first one is your list of projects and information about your projects. So that give names to your projects. And if you want to write any descriptions of your project so that you can identify them easily, enter the descriptions here. And then if you have any restriction on how early you can begin a certain project, so you would enter the date here. If you don't have any restrictions, you can leave that blank. If you have any deadlines in your mind for certain projects, then you would enter them as due dates. If you don't have any specific deadlines, you just want to finish it as soon as you need, as soon as you can, then you would leave that as blank. This is very important. So you have to set priority for the projects. So in this case, there are 6 projects here, and I've assigned them different priorities. So number 1, or the lowest number, will be the project that's given the highest priority. So number 1 priority means project 5. The template will attempt to assign all the tasks and complete all the tasks for project 5 as soon as possible before it looks into the other projects. So that's how the priority value will be used by the template. And the number 2 in data entry is the resource information. So these are human resources, or people. So you would enter the names of people, and then people who would be helping out with this project, and then how many hours are they available per day. And just to recap, this template is actually the granular unit used in the template is hours. And so on a given day, there are 24 hours, so your resource may be available up to any number of hours in that day, and you would enter that here, and it can be different values for different resources. In this example, I've used 6 hours for all the resources. Number 3 is entering your planning period start date. And so this is when the template will begin assigning tasks. So in this example, I've used 1/12/2013, January 12th, 2013 as my planning period start date. And the planning period itself is 60 working days, and that is fixed. You can't change that. So the template will try to plan beginning from Jan 12th, 2013 for the next 60 working days. So Saturdays and Sundays are weekends, and they are not included in the planning period. And also any holidays that you would enter here in number 5 here will also be excluded from working days. So number 4 is pretty straightforward. You just would enter your own name if you want to display it on the reports. And then number 5 is the list of you can enter up to 10 days, which would be considered as holidays and would be excluded from your planning period. And this is, obviously applicable if you're working, and if you have any holidays at your workplace, you want to make sure that you enter them here so that you don't assign any tasks on those holidays. So now that we are done with all these 5 steps here, we're done with data entry. Watch out for this data validation box. This will tell you if you have entered something wrong. For example, if you enter the same resource name again or duplicate them, then that would also show up as an error. If you have duplicate project names, that will show up as an error. If you don't enter a planning period start date, that will show up as an error. So these things have been put in place to make sure that the data is good before you start using the information on the project and resource schedules. So now that we're done with the project sheet, let's go to the tasks. So the task sheet is a little different from the project sheet. As you can see, at the top, you have some summary statistics which update as you enter information in the table below. The top section will automatically update. And here it tells you how many projects are there, how many resources do you have, and how many projects will complete, and how many projects will complete on time, and what is the resource utilization rate, and others. So these are summary statistics for the information that you have entered. And there is a box here which is called an advice. And this box is the template trying to figure out how it can make things better in the project plan. So before we go there, let me talk a little bit about the table below. So this is the table where you would enter your project and project's task information. So for example, here for project 1, I have entered 7 tasks. And for these 7 tasks, I have assigned a resource to each of those tasks. And then in some cases, a task can begin only if after some other task has been completed. So that is what is called a predecessor. And so here I have, for example, predecessor for this task number 1 in project 1. That means the template will not begin task 1 in project 1 until project 2 task 1 is complete. And you can enter up to 2 predecessors for any given task in this template. And also these predecessors can come from other projects as well. So just like in this example, the predecessor for this task is coming from project 2, so the template can also handle predecessors from other projects as well. Then finally, you enter how long or how many hours do you expect this specific task to take to complete. And there's a comments field. If you want to enter more information about a specific task to track things, then you can enter that as well. And totally there were 150 tasks that you can enter, and there are 25 projects that you can enter, and the number of resources that you can enter are 15. So that now that we have completed discussing the table of tasks, now let's go back to the top. Again, just like the project sheet, there is a data validation box. Look for any data errors. If there are, please correct them before you start moving further, because if you have incorrect data, then also the reports may be incorrect as well. So please make sure that you see no errors in the data entry message. That means you're good to go. Advice. Let's come back to advice. So this, for example, in this case, the template, using the data it has figured out that the project 1 will not complete because by the end of the planning period, it will still have 39 hours of work pending. Okay. And also it looks into task 4 is delayed at the start by 45 days. So that means the task number 4 in project 1, this has been delayed. This has kind of been waiting because the resource B that it needs to work on may be busy with something else, and that's why this project has been delayed. So it's a suggestion that the template is giving is try assigning resource C to task 4. That's because it's figured out that resource C was available at the time, so why don't we try assigning it? So look for these suggestions, and then you can change your resource assignment here and see how things change. That is just a suggestion. Based on the information it sees, it may not always be the optimal suggestion because there's no optimization algorithm in this template. But this is just a simple suggestion that you can try implementing and see how things change. Hopefully it makes it better. Now, that is pretty much all we need to do in the tasks worksheet. Now it's time, we have completed all the data entry. Let's go into the 3 sheets where you would get to see the results or get to see what's happening in terms of your project plans. So first one is project schedule. So once you click project schedule, you get to see this list or the schedule here, a Gantt chart. And these projects listed are ordered by the priority. So the first one you see would be project 5, which is the highest priority project, and the task and then the resource assigned to it. And then this is the schedule for that specific task. For example, it begins on Jan 12th and it goes through to Jan 22nd. 6 hours of work every day is being done by resource C on this task. So you can see here that project 6, task 4, that's the only task in that project assigned to resource A, but it's not beginning until February 1st. And that's because this project has a start date restriction of February 1st. So the template will not begin this project until February 1st comes. But during that time, resource A is all available. So you would see that the resource A has been assigned to another project here, project 2, task 2. So resource A is being assigned and being utilized for the other project, even though this project is lower in priority compared to project 6. And that's because the template is factoring in all the restriction and constraints that you have assigned in this project plan. So this is the project schedule. You can print the project schedule and use it for discussions as well. And the next step we go is to the resource schedule. And this works very similarly, but this is all from a resource perspective. And the top one is the scheduled time. So for each resource, how many hours are they assigned to work on any given day in this planning period. And you can see here mostly it's assigning 6 because we have set a restriction that each resource is available for 6 hours a day and it's utilizing it completely. But in some cases, for example, here you see 5, resource C is only being used for 5 hours on the specific day. So that's what this table informs. And when you scroll down, you see another one. This is unutilized time. So this tells you if a resource has time available but has not been assigned to a task during that time, then this gives you a clear view of where you have which resources are available for other projects if you have other projects. And in this case, resource D has not been utilized for the vast majority of the planning period here. So that's the project resource schedule. You can print this as well very easily. And the final sheet here is a summary report. As the name indicates, this is really the summary for this template. And at the top, you see the summary statistics, number of projects, number of resources, projects that will be completed, projects that are expected to be completed on time, and number of hours of work done, number of hours of work still pending, number of hours of time from the resources unutilized, and also that is calculated as a resource utilization rate. And this chart on the left shows the project completion dates for each project and on a timeline. And the chart on the right gives us the resource utilization rate for each of the resource. And you can see here resource D is clearly being underutilized. And project summary. This table has more details. That you can have up to 25 projects here, and it tells you the earliest possible start date for any project and when is the project expected to start based on the data in the template. And you can see if there is a delay. So project 1 is being delayed at the start by 7 days, and the expected completion date for each of the projects. And if the template thinks that it cannot complete a certain project, for example here project 1, it'll leave a blank, and the percentage of tasks that will be completed by the end of the planning period. Again, project 1 will not complete all the tasks. And due date, and this is the date, these are the dates that you entered back in the project sheet at the beginning. And on-time completion, so whether a project will complete on time. And for example here, project 2 is actually expected to complete on March 28th, but you wanted a due date of February 20th. So this clearly tells that the project won't complete on time. And even though by the end of the planning period, there won't be any hours pending, but it just won't complete on time before the due date that you expected. Project 1, however, will not complete and will still have 39 hours of work pending, even though it has completed 307 hours, but it still has 39 hours of work pending. The table on the right, the final one, is the resource summary, and this is for each resource, how many hours were they available during the planning period, and how many or what is the resource utilization rate for each resource, and how many hours went unutilized in this planning period. So that's all we have about this template. If you like this template and would like to use it for your project planning purposes, then go back to my blog and download the template, the basic Excel template, because this template comes with no sample data. So I'm going to open that document, and this is what that template will look like. As you can see here, I have only one dummy project and one resource assigned. So when you begin working on your own projects, just please type on top of that and replace this project and keep entering more rows for more projects. Similarly, just type in your own resource name here and then start entering more data. Please don't delete this entire row, because that may cause the template to not function properly. And you would go into the task sheet. Similarly, I have a dummy task. Just start typing your own information in the first row and then keep entering more rows after that. That's all you have to do. The project schedule, the resource schedule, and the summary schedule, everything will update automatically after that. If you like this template, please share it with others. And there are also other templates on my blog here at indzara.blogspot.com. And thank you very much for watching this video. And I hope you find this template useful.